Well, good morning, good morning. I think today I'm going to do some capacity testing. You can see those 4 batteries there I'm charging up. I did have a question in one of the comments on how am I charging them. As you know, I have XT90s on my discharge ports for each one. On the input for the charging ports, I have XT60s, and I made myself just a pigtail where one comes from my charger. Of course, when I bought the charger, I had to cut the end off and replace that. And then I made a pigtail which branches into 4, so they can charge all 4 at the same time. There was a question about the charger I'm using. This is the largest one I felt comfortable in using, which is a 3 amp. And I found this on Amazon. You can hear the fan running in it. You can see it when it actually tapers down and turns green, then we know that they're fully charged. But I also keep an eye on them with this cheap little $6 voltmeter too. So I think what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take those 3 batteries that you see over there. I'm going to individually test each one. I'm going to run it through the inverter, which is a reliable 1500 watt 36 volt inverter. Run it through the kilowatt and then run full blast on the light bulbs. Now if that's shy of 500 watts going through this thing, and each battery is rated for 460 minus the inverter insufficiencies, that gets it down to about 390. So each one will probably only run about less than an hour before it should cut down, and it should shut off on my 32 point whatever it was voltage. So then I can have some consistency, and I'll just run each one down to see how consistent they are. So, and I'll spare you the details. I won't do it. We'll just come up at the end and kind of show you what we got. Okay, battery number 1, 41.1 volts. We'll reset to our watt meter. And let's get this thing going. All right. You can see the pull on the battery already. And 455 watts. All right, we'll come back when that thing starts to beeping right over there. All right, battery number 1. We got to be getting pretty close to the 32.3 cutoff, but it seemed to me like when we were going full blast, it actually cut off a little bit above that. So it'd be the 32.5. We got an audible alarm, and then it shut right down within a short time after that. Pulling 428. See, we're down to 116. It's been 31 minutes. So I did notice that on this just single battery number 1, it is getting warm at this end, warm to the touch. And of course my wiring is getting warm as well. Nothing overly hot or nothing to be concerned with, especially since in the future I'll be running these either as a pack of 4 or larger, so that load would be shared between the wires, so that won't be as bad. So anyway, we're getting real close to a shut-off. I'll come back when that happens. There it is. 32:50. Well, I guess we'd call it 33 minutes. Well, I guess there's no sense in continuing. We know it's going to shut down here in the next couple minutes, but if we're going to judge it against the other battery packs, we can just take it to when the alarm came on, which was just shy of 33 minutes. It was actually about 10 seconds shy of 33 minutes. So we'll use that as our basis for checking the other battery packs. All right, on to number 2. Okay, this is battery number 2. And I had a problem with battery number 2. I could not get the BMS to stay on. I tried plugging the charging port up. It would come on, it would go right off. As long as it was plugged into the inverter, it would shut itself right down again. It would keep shutting down. I could not get the thing to work. What I eventually ended up doing was unplugging both here and of course here, and then hooking the negative and the negative together with my jumper wires. And I let it set for about 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. And the thing popped up and turned on and started working again. So I'm not sure if this is going to be an issue going down the road, if we're going to have issues with these things shutting off on us or not. But maybe I can go back and revisit that other battery. So here we are on battery 2. It appears to be working now, so I'm going to go ahead and get this thing started. The bulbs are 460, 450, 460, give or take a few. It's going up and down. You can see where I'm at. We actually started off at it was a little over 41. So we will see how this one goes. But yeah, that had a difficult time getting that BMS to engage. So we'll go from there. Okay, we're at 33 minutes. A couple of things to note. This particular battery pack feels warm in this area. The other one, the last one I had, was warmer up in this area. So this one is warmest in this spot right here. So that, I guess I'm assuming those cells are working a little harder right there. Warm but not hot in the cable. And we are getting down, my friends, I should say. We're at 30, coming up on 34 minutes, and you can see we've still got a little bit to go. So we're going to get a little bit more out of this one. Yeah, not a whole lot more. But this one's interesting. I'm starting to alarm at 32.5. There's a solid 32.4. At 34 minutes. So there you have it. 34 minutes, battery pack number 2. Okay, I thought I would try to document what's happening. This is another BMS being turned off issue, and it seems to be when I plug it into my inverter, that capacitor, I get a little bit of a spark or what have you, but then it shuts right down. So what I'm going to try to do is get it going again. First we'll unplug that for a second, and then if I plug it back in, sometimes it'll try to shoot again. There you go. But it shuts right down. So that doesn't do it. The other thing I can do is hook it into a charger, and this is my 3-amp charger, so I'm going to go ahead and hook the battery pack into the charger. And we'll see if into the charger input, we'll see if that doesn't get something moving. We'll wait till the charger kicks in here. Alright, you saw it pop up again, but it pops back down again. It's not maintaining. So the BMS pops on, pops back off, pops on, pops back off. Both if you mess with this one and if you mess with this one. Now the way that I got the last one to come on was I unhooked my charge end, I unhooked my output end, and then I took, now this just happens to be red, so bear with me, but you'll get the drift. This is my output. I'm going to clip on the negative, my charge cable. I'm going to clip on the negative. And I'm going to wait about 30 seconds. This is what I did to the last one, and then the BMS came on and stayed on, and I was actually able to perform the test. So it's kind of aggravating that these things are, the BMSs on these things are real touchy. Either they're on and they're working perfectly, or they go on and off and you got to fool with them to get them to come back on, and then once you get them on you can use them a little bit longer. So it's real goofy. But anyway, so I jumped these two negatives. And now we'll plug the main discharge back in. No, it didn't stick, didn't take. My BMS activator board is hooked up correctly. Okay, we'll cycle it one more time and try it. Alright, let's unplug the inverter. Boom, look at that. We'll just let that, so I took the load off the system and now it bounces back up. We'll let that BMS activator send a few signals in. It's supposed to send a signal in every 5 seconds, so we'll let that occur a little bit. Now I definitely want to make sure my charger is not plugged in, because I want to check the output of this thing if I can get it working. As soon as I put the load on, see, there it tries. Something is definitely not allowing this to stay on. Alright, let's try this one more time. We'll unhook the inverter. Unhook my meter and activator board. These things are hard to pull apart. Sometimes you got to get them just right to get them to wiggle apart. That one wants to pull apart here too. That's why that one was so tight. Alright, let's try our jumper again. Negative on the output. Negative on the input charge side. We'll let this go a little bit. Yeah, this is frustrating. Especially when, you know, you've got so many of them. And it's inconsistent how it works. Sometimes it does this, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, that should be long enough, right? Okay. Now, when I plug in the inverter, is it going to pop down or is it going to stay on? Okay, let's try charging it again. Might be that I got a full charge in there. That's why it's not coming on with the charger, because I have a full charge. Yeah, I'm at a little bit of a loss. I know if I unplug this, it's going to come right back up. At least it did last time. Is it going to this time? Alright, let's unplug again. Jump our negatives. Let it set a couple. What I'm going to do this time is plug in the charger and then plug in that other side. So if doing the two of these opened up that BMS and it's on now, let's just assume it's on and working. There we go. Look at that. And now it's staying on. And now I can do my test. Okay, I'll do my test on battery number 3. We'll get this thing going. Did you see the order that I did that? First I jumped the two negatives, the input and the output, left the jumper on there for a good 15 seconds. Then I plugged the charger in to keep it open, keep it going. Then I plugged my power in and it held. That's just beyond me of what we're doing wrong here. Okay, and now I'll unplug the charger as well because we don't want that to interfere with our test. And we'll see how this one goes. Battery number 3. Okay, 32 minutes. We are on battery pack number 3. I had a heck of a time getting that one, the BMS started on that one. Let's feel for heat. A little warm down there. Yeah, that's pretty consistent. It's warm all the way down the pack. Plug is warm. It's not hot, but it is definitely warm. Should have used bigger wire here. Instead of 14, I probably should have used the 12. I might have to go back and replace that depending on my application. And let's see, our light bulbs are coming down. They were 460 watts. They're 425. So you can see we're heading down to the bottom. 32.6. It should alarm here before it gets to 32.3. And I'll bring it back when it alarms. Okay, we got alarm at 34 minutes and 32.5. And we have an alarm. So pretty consistent. They're running 33, 34 minutes. Pretty consistent. Forget that. I'm charging up some batteries. So we'll call that 34 minutes on battery number 3. Okay. This is the battery that the BMS was not working properly. It's like going off and coming on and that kind of thing during my test, or during my one of my tests a while back. So let's see, BMS my activator board coming into my white wire, and I know that activator board is working fine. Plug it up. Got nothing here. Oh, wait a minute. And if you can see that, it goes up and goes right back down. There we go again, and right back down. Now let's see if I unplug it from here. Nothing. Okay, plug the charger in. And it'll take a second for that charger to recognize. There we go. Still not getting that in here though. I'll let that charger run a few seconds. Still not getting nothing. Unplug the charger. Plug it back in. Still nothing. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now let me put it to a load, which would be my inverter. And now it appears to be working. Turn the inverter on. Still seems to be working. Put power to it. There's 3 light bulbs. 5 light bulbs, and it quits working. And that still has the charger hooked in. Okay. Unplug the inverter, turn the inverter off, unplug the inverter, turn off my lights. Now we gotta try to get this to come back on again. Unplug and plug the power, nothing. Or the discharge port. Unplug the Yeah. Now we got it. Okay. Turn the inverter on. There we go again. Same issue. Alright. The one thing I have not tried, let me unplug everything here. The one thing I have not tried is jumping the negative ports here on the charge side and on the discharge side. So what I'm going to do is just take these 2 alligator clips, put them in the negative, put them in the negative, we'll let that set about 10 to 15 seconds. Okay, now when we unplug this, that other battery, number 3 over there, the only way it would stay on is if I plug the charger in, plug the inverter in, plug my power in. Now it's staying on. But let's see if we give it that load of 5 bulbs, 5 100-watt bulbs, but they actually come in a little bit less. They're coming in at 460 watts. Let's see if it can handle it. The inverter's on. Three watt bulbs. Look at that. Makes no sense at all. As soon as I try to draw, that was, oh, I missed it. Three light bulbs. Each one's about 94 watts a piece. So 3 times 9 is 27. So that's about 270 or 260, 270 watts, and it can't even pull that. So I'm at a loss on this one. If you've got any ideas, please let me know. I sure would appreciate it. Might have to tear this one down. Thanks.